Yeah, I have a dream of reaching heaven. Me and Malcolm are chatting about impeaching presidents and how my album went platinum. I'm asking to pack away all of the struggles inside of me. As a nation will develop and govern our own society. I dream of a time when there's a cure for AIDS, and no longer will the people be afraid to get laid. Think how great it.
Hello.
Well, hi.
How you doing? Is the chief of police available by any chance?
No, he isn't.
Okay. Is there any police officer available that I could talk to? I was hoping to discuss gun laws.
I don't think. I think they're out on a call, but I can
Okay.
try and call him real quick.
Yeah, just if there's anyone in the office. I don't want to pull anybody off anything.
Okay.
How you doing, officer? Pretty good. Yeah.
Are you video recording me right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, just so I know.
What I'm doing today is I'm kind of going around to local police stations. Have you heard of the bill that Senator Feinstein is trying to pass?
No, at this point.
No. Hang on, let me get one of these. Well, I'll just give you all 5. Basically, I'm hoping to kind of hand these out to local police officers because it's a very serious bill that's being proposed. I have a link to the summary of the bill here.
Okay.
But basically, how do you feel about the idea of banning guns, all handguns and rifles that have a detachable magazine? Like, is that something that you would enforce even if it was law?
Well, if it's a law, I have to enforce it. It's my job to enforce.
Okay, but I understand, but you also swore an oath and that your job was to uphold the Constitution, including the Constitution of PA, right?
I took an oath to uphold the rights of the citizens.
Exactly. So, do you feel that like a ban on this private citizens to be able to carry a gun, such as that, would be a breach of rights?
You have a right to bear arms, but it doesn't. That right doesn't specify what type of arms that you have the right to bear.
So,
If the government deems that that's not a proper arm and they deem that a law, I don't have a choice in the matter. That's my job, is to enforce the laws of the state and the country.
Okay. What about the idea that like guns are not for hunting, they're not for sport, they're for self-defense, and then worst case scenario, they're even for defending ourselves from a government should it become oppressive?
As far as you're saying, protect yourself from governments taking your weapons from you? Is that what you're saying? Or
That could be one, or a government just becoming destructive to the means of protecting liberty.
I mean, that would have to weigh. I mean, I can't say how. I don't know how that would work.
Okay, well, that paper, that's something I personally wrote up. If you could just do me a huge favor and read it and maybe even circulate it and kind of just think about it, because I think if that law passes, I mean, I think I'm in a minority. I don't think it's going to pass because it's so extreme. But if it does, that's going to be like a radical change in the country. So,
Well, I don't see it coming. I mean, I know the NRA will have something to say about that.
yeah. I don't personally support. I mean, there's a lot of debate going on because of the Connecticut shooting, obviously,
Right.
and there's a lot of heightened emotions and people wanting extreme action one way and wanting extreme action the other way. I don't really side with either one. I think the NRA's idea is dumb. I think taking people's guns away is dumb.
Well, it would have to be something that we'd have to come on the middle ground. Upon. But
All right. Well, thank you for your time, and thank you for allowing me to film. A lot of cops are. I've had experience where cops don't like it, and they don't understand that it is a right in a public space. So.
I understand that, and it's not an issue. I mean, you're doing what you feel is right for the Constitution and the people of your country. So,
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you very much.
alrighty, take care.
You too. Have a nice day.
You too.
Are you busy right now? I'm with some local media outlets. I just have here. Have you heard about the Senator Feinstein's bill coming about gun control? Well, this is about to hit the Senate later this month. Basically, it will out.
Does that have audio recording?
Yes, it
okay,
does.
Can you turn that off for me, please?
I'm sorry, I'm in a public space.
Okay.
The law, if passed, will outright outlaw the sale, transfer, and manufacturing of 120 specific rifles, as well as outlawing all handguns and rifles that accept detachable magazines. So I'm just kind of going around trying to figure out some of the local police officers, because it would be your duty to enforce this law.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yep, sure.
Okay, what else do you need?
Well, basically, I'm just kind of going around and trying to talk to some officers about, because obviously the responsibility on the ground level would fall on people like yourself. Do you feel that if something like that became a law, that you would actually enforce it?
I can't comment on that because it's so early in the litigation of the law.
Okay.
So I can't really give it.
I understand.
Opinion.
I'm probably
Yes or
going to
no.
hit that roadblock with a lot of these questions then.
Yeah.
So can you do this? I personally wrote this up. I was hoping to give it out to at least some officers, and hopefully maybe it could get circulated.
Would you want me to just hand it out to like other officers or what?
If you could do that, that would be fantastic.
I'll see what I can do. I can't guarantee that my chief or lieutenant will allow me to do so. But I'll take it definitely up to my public relations department and see how they want to handle it.
Okay, sure.
So.
And can I have like a card for the chief?
I think we have something here. Hang on 1 second.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I got some right now.
All right, thank you.
Okay, what's up, chief?
All right, thank you.
All right, what was your name again?
Michael Heiss.
Mike. All right, nice to
And
meet you.
Thank you, and thanks for being okay with being filmed. I've had experiences with officers where they didn't handle it very well, so
It happens.
thank you.
Have a good one.
I'm kind of going around to local police departments and just asking a few questions regarding gun control. Have you heard of the bill that Senator Feinstein from California is going to be putting in the Senate in January?
I have not.
Well, if you want to just take these,
Certainly.
I have a link there to a summary of the bill. But basically, the bill, if passed, will outright ban 120 named rifles as well as all handguns and rifles that accept a detachable magazine.
Okay.
And then anybody who already has these weapons are going to have to go to the state and be fingerprinted and registered and just generally be treated like criminals.
Okay.
Obviously, as an officer at the ground level, the enforcement's going to fall in on the local level for police officers to enforce it, to confiscate the weapons and deal with the people who are not in compliance. So my big question is, would you personally enforce something like that?
Enforcing a specific what?
Like if that law was passed?
The law being specific to.
That ban.
All right. You want me to read it first, or you want to explain it to me, or a little further in more detail? It's hard for me to give you a proper answer without knowing the finer details of.
Well, basically, all weapon people, it would stop the sale, manufacture, and transfer of all those weapons.
Okay.
People who have those weapons, you could technically own them in some cases, but you have to go and register. You have to get a fingerprint taken, and things like that. And also in the bill is this banning of all magazines greater capacity than 10.
You're at the hold on 1 second.
Yep.
Thank you. All right. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. You can continue.
Okay. Well, this isn't one big document. It's just copies of one
Okay.
page. So
Okay.
I was hoping that you could read it and, if possible, maybe even distribute it to some police officers at your leisure.
Well, I'm not going to distribute. I'm not sure I'm going to distribute it, but I mean, in a quick, as you say, we'll put it to you this way: if the legislature sees fit to establish laws, and those laws are constitutional, and they deem those laws to be constitutional, and then I'm bound to, follow those laws, and I will enforce those laws as they're given to me. It is not up to me.
Yeah.
It's then up to the judiciary, the judges, to make those determinations if what I'm doing is.
I understand.
proper.
My next question would be: at what point does personal, loyalty to the oath or personal opinion on whether the Supreme Court was legitimate or not play into it. You know what I mean? Because like for example, the PA state constitution in particular is pretty cut and dry. You know, the right of the citizens to keep and bear arms in defense of themselves and the state shall not be questioned. That's
Right.
pretty cut and dry.
That's as it states now.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. If it went through a ratifying process,
Right.
that's a long haul, though.
Absolutely, it is.
But for something like that, I think that's a pretty clear infringement. Just like, you know, I don't know how Obamacare was not declared not unconstitutional. You know, for example, I mean, it's Article 1, Section 8, and the 10th Amendment both state that whatever the Constitution says is what the federal government can do. If it's not there, they can't do it, and healthcare is not in there, you know?
Right.
So, at what point does people's rights supersede the federal government and decree of law, you know, like in terms of what's going to be enforced and what's not?
Well, as I said, if they pass a law, if they pass laws as the legislative branch, we as the executive branch, basically, are bound to enforce those laws. We have we have discretion, but it's limited. You know. And then, like I said, it'd be up to the judiciary, the judges, or whatever the case may be,
Okay.
to make those determinations.
Are you familiar with the concept of nullification?
The what?
Concept of nullification,
No, not quite.
like the 10th Amendment, basically that, for like example, for what I just said, Obamacare.
Right.
They're trying to pass that as law, even though it's pretty clear in the Constitution that that's not constitutional, regardless of what the courts say. So that the 10th Amendment specifically gives those powers to the states to just not follow the law, to just not enforce the law, to not follow the law. You know, you have that similar kind of thing with marijuana legalization in Colorado, where the states have passed it. Obama and that administration is still trying to say, hey, it's the law, but the states are not listening. That even goes down to personal nullification, you know. We've seen this in history with Nazi Germany, Communist China, and basically my fear is there seems to be a trend of big government, taking over the country in certain ways. You know, in the wake of the shooting, you have the left calling for big government to disarm us. You have the right calling for government to put armed guards in the schools and make the police state out of schools. I don't think either one of them really fits what we need. I don't think either one of them are compatible with freedom. So again, it comes down to, like, would you disobey that statute, or not statute, but would you just not enforce it if it conflicted with your personal morals?
Well, then I'm jeopardizing my career as a police officer, because we here, as well as we have our policies, our procedures that we have to abide by. And if I don't abide by those policies, then I'm putting my position as a police officer, as a sergeant, in jeopardy.
Okay.
That fair?
I understand.
So, I mean, I'm going to abide by the rules of my police department, and they are, as they currently stand, to enforce the, Pennsylvania Crimes Code.
Yes. Okay.
All right?
All right. Last thing is, if you're interested in like what I've been kind of talking about, there's a very large group out there called Oath Keepers, of people who are government, police, just anybody who had to take an oath to the Constitution. Who there's local chapters all over the country and stuff like that. So if you're interested, you could check them out, see what they're all about. Okay. And you said you're not sure if you can distribute them?
Well, no, there's no problem with leaving them here. I'll take one. All right. I have no problem taking that. Make sure that's just one, and I'll leave the rest here. And we'll leave it up to that.
All right, I appreciate it.
Sound good?
Yep.
All right, sir.
Get my hand
What was your
here.
first name?
Michael. My name's Michael Heiss.
Okay, I'm Sergeant Smith.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Have a good
You
day.
too. You too.
All right.
Thank you.